Welcome, Patreon subscribers, to your exclusive content, the Peppermint Spoilercast. She has love in her heart, snow in her eyes, and peppermint in her blood. The system failed. She won't. And here is your exclusive spoilercast of the movie Peppermint, starring the one that looks like Hilary Swank.
I believe her name's Jennifer Garner.
It's Jennifer Garner. Yep, it's Jennifer Garner.
Peppermint is about a character named Riley North, played by Jennifer Garner, who has a wonderful family and a great home life. You know, things are on the rocks. They're having some money troubles. Her husband gets an offer to participate in some nefarious deeds,
Which he refuses.
Right. It seems like he initially is going to do it, but he does refuse. But because a guy told another guy that he was, a part of this, and this guy tried to screw a giant drug lord over, he and his daughter end up getting gunned down during the Christmas carnival in front of Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner, right, who is understandably upset by this predicament.
Very true.
Tries to bring the gangsters to justice.
Uh-huh.
The system does not go in her favor. They go free. She disappears for 5 years, and she comes back to bring justice on these people. That is the synopsis of Peppermint.
I need to start with the fundamental question I have.
The fundamental question.
I need to start with a fundamental question about this movie. It's called Peppermint.
They never fucking use peppermint.
The only time that peppermint comes up in this entire movie is when they go to the Christmas carnival. They're like, "What flavor ice cream do you want? Chocolate, strawberry?" She goes, "Peppermint," and they're like, "Peppermint? What a bold choice, little girl!" And then that's it. That's
the line from the trailer isn't even in this movie where she's
what Josh just read.
It's the last thing she heard her daughter say out loud.
I don't no, not enough to title your movie. No,
definitely enough to like. I would even have enjoyed it if, like, after she killed everybody, she like left the peppermint on him, like a maid. Like, you just got turned down service. Boom. Drop some mint on you.
That's just lame.
That's lame. Hokey.
Of course it's lame. This whole movie is lame.
It would have made more sense if that was her nickname for her daughter, if that was something she said to her daughter regularly, but you don't even see her say it to her daughter. You just see it in the fact that she ordered peppermint ice cream with 2 scoops.
Like Josh, you and I both have kids.
Like maybe because she's a Girl Scout, she sells Thin Mints.
It's the last thing she heard her daughter say.
But that's not what I would attach to. Like, that's not.
I understand what you're saying.
But wait, Jennifer.
And what I'm saying is, it's not out of bounds,
right?
Because it's the last thing she heard her daughter say.
But that doesn't matter. What if the last thing she said was poop? Would the movie be called Poop?
It would be. Like, in my mind, that would be the only, like that would be it, right? That would be the moment that I'd replay over and over and over and over.
But that's the thing. Hold on. But Jennifer Garner's character doesn't do that. She doesn't replay the peppermint scene of her getting ice cream over and over.
That.
They show her in her thoughts several times.
She doesn't. She
never brings it. She never dwells on it.
I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna rewind this a little bit because I have more to say on that. I'm gonna rewind this just a little bit and say my main problem with this movie. Listen, this movie had the makings to be a really great movie.
Yeah.
It had the structure to be amazing, and they completely miscalculated.
Oh yeah,
and did not execute the way they should have. She kills 80% of the people who are directly responsible for her family's death off camera before the movie even starts.
Yep, for sure. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. And then the other part is, so here's the thing. There is a really good movie hidden in here that they just don't want to explore. I would have rather seen less about, like, the court failing them and the husband denying the mafia job and more of her going underground, getting trained, kicking people's asses, learning how to do that.
Yeah, that's my point.
That's a movie I want to see.
That stuff about, the system failing her and everything was fine. You needed another montage scene, like a Batman Begins scene of her training, and that's and don't give me here's the other big problem with this movie. This movie focuses way too much on the fucking cops and not enough on her.
This was very much like Law Abiding Citizen without all the explosions.
Right, but Law Abiding
Citizen was good.
The difference is Law Abiding Citizen
No.
Law-abiding citizen focused on Gerard Butler. He
Yes.
is the hero. This movie was like
but then it takes a turn.
this movie
one
was like
stayed true.
30%.
This one stayed
30%
true to the character, which I liked.
Yeah.
She didn't compromise
Yeah.
at all, which I liked very much. Yes,
Listen-
Brian, you're absolutely right. It was off the rails in the wrong direction. It was the wrong kills that we saw. It was not enough of how she got there. But as the Batman Begins, we just sort of assume that, she went to Tibet and figured it out. They shipped her back here or whatever. But I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying this was a good movie. I'm saying I was entertained. It was some great action. There was a decent story. To CJ's point, the wrong story, but a decent story that I could get behind. The revenge plot, I totally understand it. Killing judges, killing everyone.
Yep.
I'm totally fine with all of this in the sort of law-abiding citizen kind of way. But she didn't stray like that story did. She stayed true to form.
Absolutely.
And
Listen,
you know what? I'd like to see, because now she's on the lam, I'd like to see sort of an Equalizer type of storyline.
No.
Oh yeah. I would
No.
love to see a continuation of this
No.
vis-a-vis the Equalizer type storyline.
Burn this movie, put it in the landfill with ET from
No,
Atari. Get
I'm
rid of this movie.
I'm not there. CJ's completely one extreme. Josh is a completely other extreme. Listen, this movie was meh at best. I don't think we need a sequel, especially not done by this team. And she was great. Don't get me wrong. Jennifer Garner was awesome. She was badass. She was very good. She did some very solid acting in this movie.
Yeah.
Just everything around her was garbage. And they didn't add, they didn't focus on her enough. The stuff that I liked was the stuff with her.
Right.
And they didn't focus with her enough. They focused so much on the FBI agent and these cops. I don't give a shit about these cops. I don't care about their investigation. I don't give a shit what social media is saying. There's like 6 different scenes. Oh, social media is blowing up. This social media is saying that. I don't care. Show me her. Show me this woman's journey to get the justice that she's looking for. And they didn't do that. They just, it felt like the movie was about the cops, which with random cuts to her up until the last act, where, okay, now we're finally going to see her take out the rest of the cartel and take out, the main guy who was responsible for everything. It didn't make any sense to me. I loved everything about her. I just did not like this movie.
And I'll say this too. Echoing a lot of what is said, this movie is very unfocused, and Brian just kind of made a good point for that. And I think that the ratio of where we're telling the story is really off. We had a lot of stuff in the beginning of getting to know her family, which is important, getting to know her daughter, getting to know their financial situation, and how can people get to this place. But like once you kind of understand where they are and like kind of where they're going, you're like, got it. Then it's 0% time spent on how did this woman become such a badass, and then the rest of it felt super rushed at the end of just solving it all. Here's the other thing too.
From her being
go ahead.
I'm sorry. It went from her being this,
just a lady with an attitude. Yeah,
regular mom who she goes from being a banker to being freaking Conor McGregor.
Well, in 5 years.
And there's
in 5 years. In 5 years,
I get it.
With
Right.
nothing,
I get it.
with nothing
Show me
to
that.
drive you but this thought of revenge.
Right.
Show me that shit.
Well,
Here's the other thing that was off-putting to me too. Again, with how you're telling the story. The movie opens up with her probably like 5 hours before the end of the movie in a car with another guy where it kind of looks like, oh, maybe it's a love. Oh no, it's not. It's a murder. It's a murder. Okay, it's a murder. Where she murders that guy, right, and then puts him in the trunk of the car, and then cut to, I'm a mom and a banker and a Girl Scout mom, and I don't like that other troop. Like, it's this weird, like, why do we start the story here? If anything, there should have been a little record. Oh my God, how did I get here? Let me tell you how I became this assassin.
No, I think the way the movie started, and segued into that was fine.
I thought it was really bumpy at all. Bad. The other thing too was, just like Brian said, they really focus on the cops, and the one cop that they focus on, played by John Gallagher, who, by the way, amazing actor, John Gallagher Jr. from The Newsroom and a bunch of other things, West Wing, great freaking actor. Immediately when there's this scene where the detective, his partner, gets him like a hot dog. They're on a bench outside, and he's like, "See this badge? It was shot because this is the last time someone went after a drug dealer." Immediately, I went, "Oh, he's a mole. Like, he's the bad guy." He's like, I immediately figured it out. It's because he's playing with his cell phone.
I don't believe you.
No, I will get Jenny. I turned to her right away and said it. He was fiddling with his phone, and then when that cop showed up, he instantly, "Oh God, I gotta put that away." I was like, "Oh, he's the bad guy."
I didn't notice that. I thought this guy was going to end up working with her the entire time, and that his partner was going to be the one working with the cartel.
That's what I thought.
And I mean, listen. So, and that's my point. They spent so much time on this guy. I felt like I should like this guy, and it should pay off at the end, because the payoff should be, "Oh, I've been working with Peppermint, Riley,
like
the
Gordon,
entire time."
right? Like Gordon.
And
I'm working with Batman.
I felt cheated because at the end he's a bad guy, and I don't understand his motivations. Why?
I like that twist. I actually like that twist.
See, I
felt
called
cheated
it
by that
immediately, and I felt really pissed off that I called it, but I did. I'm surprised, but as soon as he was fiddling with his cell phone and trying to hide it, I was like, "Oh, he's the mole. Like, he's the bad guy." The other thing too was, we're putting her in this Skid Row and becoming like the Angel of Skid Row thing.
That was weird. Yeah,
that felt really...
It was weird. It made no sense. I actually took notes during this movie because I was one of three people in the theater.
Junkies and criminals stop committing crime,
right?
Because you live in an unlocked van.
And also, we, again, just not showing us character development. We don't know, what is she punishing the people that are doing crime? Is she helping them? Like, what is she doing to stop the crime?
Right.
My big note on that was, why end it here? There's literally no reason I should care about anybody in Skid Row. There's never a scene where she's like, they show her interacting with anybody. They show her like being friendly with the kids. There's nothing to show, "Oh, okay, this place is important to her, so that's why we're ending it here." Like, if you wanted to make that your big ending piece, you need to have a scene in there that shows how important that place is to her.
And like, it would have been one of those things where like they rally around her to like help her and protect her when like the cops are coming in, or like, because she's hurt. So like, oh my God, maybe the Skid Row people come out and like try to help her, or, like Spider-Man when he stops the train and then everyone carries him over and then gives him back his mask. Like, there should be a scene like that, and there wasn't.
This movie is filled with missing scenes.
Yeah.
Like, if I feel like if I could take all the missing scenes and put it, like, that should have been the movie.
Right.
Like, what I really, like, the stuff that I really wanted to see was, I wanted to see her legit killing the people who actually pulled the trigger on her family.
Yeah, we didn't see that.
You don't,
the movie.
You don't see that. I wanted to see her.
Except for maybe the guy that she killed
at the
very beginning.
I wanted to see her kill the guy who tried to pay her off. You don't see that.
No, you don't. Nope. You're right.
Like,
you don't see that.
It's all about, I'm going to take out these random cartel members in the, like every movie like this needs to be built like a Mortal Kombat like arcade mode, right? You start off with the low level people, and you eventually work your way up to Shao Kahn, right?
Absolutely. No.
But you don't see her kill off any of the low level people that were directly involved with her kids and her husband's murder. It's just, we're going to kill all those people off screen, and then we're going to go after the big bad. It feels like I was jumping into the end of the movie. I felt like I missed so much of the movie.
This, to me, feels like have you ever tried to watch a TV show with somebody, right? Oh, we're going to watch this show together. Oh, okay. But they've clearly watched 2 or 3 episodes without you, but they haven't made sure to go back to the streaming service and take you back to where you started. So then you start watching and you're like, I feel like I missed something. Did I miss like 2 episodes? Or like, oh yeah, Netflix just started it here by accident. That's so weird. That's what this felt like. Like, I missed a lot that should have been informing. And like when the FBI agent dies, right? I didn't care at all. I didn't care. I was like, oh, yep, she's gonna die.
I didn't care about any of those characters. The movie's supposed to be about her. And unless you're going to end up having one of these cops actually working with her, I don't care. I don't care about them or their investigation. Here's the other thing about her character, and the only complaint I have about her character and the way they handled her.
Who, the FBI agent or Riley?
No, Riley North.
Gotcha.
There are several scenes in the movie where she's legitimately hallucinating her daughter.
Yes.
Hallucinating her daughter as a kid on the bus, hallucinating her daughter in the back seat.
Yep.
And my thing is this. That doesn't add to her character. It doesn't make you feel bad about it. They already did a very good job in that brief flashback scene. You really liked her and her family.
Yeah.
So to the point where you're like, I know what's about to happen and I'm already kind of saddened by it because I've seen the trailer. So we already like her. So having her hallucinate her daughter is not making me like her anymore. It's actually making her seem more psychotic.
Right.
And this turns out
the mom you have to get up now piece
that was nice.
That was nice, and that's been done a bunch of times.
The random hallucinations,
but I'm okay with that
needed.
Coming at the end and never having the other hallucinations.
Right, because it makes her seem psychotic, and I no longer feel sympathetic for her. I feel like she needs help. Like, it's not like Punisher.
Why do you care whether she needs help or not? Right? She just has to
more
kill
like,
a bunch of
this is a sick person doing it rather than, oh my god, vengeance.
With that, it's a sick person doing it instead of a person with a mission, a person looking for justice.
Why couldn't it be both? Like
because that's what the movie has informed.
In that situation, there's no way you're a sane person. There's no way you're a sane person.
Agree with you on that. I think from a movie standpoint, right?
You need to make her seem
sane. Like that's what I thought was real. Like she doesn't want anything more than to just rejoin her family. She's happy to die to execute this vengeance. Now,
right.
I agree with you. I don't like the order in which it was done or the way it was portrayed. Like it could have been better cinematically, sure. But to think that a person is going to be sane, sane people don't look for vengeance, right? I mean, it's just that doesn't work that way.
Very true. Batman's probably a little crazy.
Right. So there's going to be something wrong with her. I'm fine with her hallucinating the daughter. I mean, she's just trying to hold on to her reason for being in the first place, doing all this horrible shit, getting her just getting her body racked with pain all the time, right? She doesn't eat. She drinks too much. It's like this she's a walking dead person, just trying to get to the end point.
Right.
She can't die until the people responsible die. And for that reason, I like this movie.
If that's the case, though, from a story standpoint, you don't have her just seeing the daughter. You have to have her having conversations with the daughter, not just the mommy get up, but the don't worry. As soon as I get done with this, honey, I will be with you soon. Conversation, because you don't get that. She just seems psychotic, and you no longer feel for this woman.
All right, so here's
if she were talking to an invisible girl, I'd have.
I would have a big problem with that,
right?
Brian.
My point is those scenes are unneeded. You don't need them.
Here's the thing: I don't think they detracted from the movie. I think that they're weird. I think that I wouldn't have made
detracted from her character.
I wouldn't have made that choice. I don't think it really took away from the character. I think most people, when they watch it, or just like Josh said, they just kind of see her as the person. I just thought it made her look crazy, but I was like, all right, whatever. She's a little crazy. That's fine. I think it would have been a more emotional. It would have been a bigger payoff if after she's about to die, she finally gets to see her daughter. And she's like, yes, the sweet brace of death will finally let me be with my daughter. And she's like, no, mommy, you have to get up. Like,
it's one
that
of
would
those
have hit
things,
more.
CJ.
But that's a preference. That's a preference. It's not.
I don't think it's about preference. I think it's about if you have kids, you feel one way, and if you don't, you don't.
But I have kids, and I feel the complete opposite of you.
I don't see.
Or maybe not the complete opposite. I have kids, and I don't feel the same way as you do.
About the psychosis or about the
fact that like she had to see her daughter. I understand everything else you just talked about.
Forget about
100%.
Forget about having to see the daughter.
Okay, then yes.
I'm talking
everything
about
else
the
you
motivation.
Said, absolutely 100% agree with you on that one.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not discounting the motivation.
My
point is we got the motivation.
I'm saying it. I think it registers differently when you watch the movie. I'm not saying your analysis
appreciate
is wrong.
it.
I don't think it is. I just think we're approaching it from different angles. What I'm saying is, watching the movie, how you feel about it is 100% impacted by your current parental position.
Right.
And there's no two ways about it.
I do think that you can see this movie without being a parent and still
for sure.
know what she's going through. And I know you're not saying that. I'm just saying that that's true. I do want to focus on a couple other things that I just think, besides like the murder and the violence and the killing, the stuff that this movie did really well. And there's a couple jokes and a couple moments that are quite silly, clever, and just also pretty badass. And one of them is with the drunk father going into the liquor store. Right, where then she like jumps the guy and says, listen, you're not going to drink anymore. You're going to clean up your act.
It was
you're
a scene
taking
right
Christmas shopping, and then she goes to the cashier, and goes, "Do you have a car?" "Yeah, I do." And then she pops down a shitload of money. "Consider it a rental." And I went, ha! Like I laughed. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny. I found it hilarious.
I didn't find that funny.
Oh,
it was very life threatening.
I was more upset. I was actually more upset by that scene because at that point we haven't really seen her do anything awesome.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm an hour into this movie. I haven't seen Jennifer Garner fire one gun or throw one punch. And she's just going to beat up random citizens. What the fuck?
The other thing I thought was...
no. It was that Fight Club moment, right? It was that tomorrow's going to be the best day of Bradley K. whatever his name's life, right? It's going to be the best day of his life.
It's lifted from Fight Club.
His eggs are going to taste better than any eggs anyone's ever eaten. And that's I mean, we would hope.
I get it. But
here's the other thing.
I'm spending the entire movie waiting for Jennifer Garner to be badass. And that's legitimately the first scene I get to see her be badass in. And I'm like,
it's a starter.
Really?
It's a starter part. Here's the other part too. I just want to address something that apparently is extremely common in this movie. The local news in this town is fucking killer because everyone is watching the local news. The mobsters who are drinking, talking about murder in their mansions are watching the local news.
Yeah, good for them.
The local news is
high.
crushing it. I just thought it's so weird. It's just like, listen, I would not walk into Pablo Escobar's, estate and he'd be watching, Local 5 action news. That's not what's happening.
Where did this take place? New York?
No,
California.
SoCal.
Yeah.
Southern California. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, same metros. They
Everyone's
watch local news.
Like every TV.
Yeah, dude. Like if you're in New York, everybody watches WPIX. Everybody watches the same fucking news station.
All right, I'm very curious.
I think CJ's point is that it's like on 24/7 on everybody's TV. No one's taking time out to watch the latest Netflix series. No one's catching up on Doctor Who.
I want to hear the same argument if we would discuss Die Hard. I want to hear the same argument from you because it's the same exact situation.
They're in the pinata factory. They're counting the money, right? They're counting the money for the drug deal. And instead of having, I don't know, a sporting event on, instead of having nothing on the television, the news is on. They're like, hey, did we get the shipment? Yeah, we did. Hey, check it out. The weather goes on. So nice to see it's going to be a sunny day. Like, what? Why is the local news?
This seems, I don't know.
It's a nitpicky thing.
That's very nitpicky, but I understand
funny.
what you're saying.
I thought it was hilarious that was there.
It seems like both insignificant and inconsequential.
Yeah, I get your point, but that's not something that stood out to me.
It's detracted from the movie. It's just I was like, everyone's watching the news. What was the thing that you liked about this movie though? What was some of the things that we really actually enjoyed that we haven't talked about?
Jennifer Garner, she was great in this movie.
She was really good.
She was great, and I really
and the action was great.
Like and that's my point. Like I really hope. Because I'm pretty sure this didn't do well at the box office. I know it didn't do well with reviews. I don't need a sequel to this movie, but I want Jennifer Garner in more roles like this.
So here's a fun stat for you, by the way, because you brought this up. Jennifer Garner kills 43 people, and 5 of them are off screen.
So
yeah, she kills 43 people,
and the other 41 had nothing to do directly with her family's murder. That's my point.
That's a lot of people, which means that's a lot of action.
Femme fatale. The genre itself, I love so much. But
there wasn't enough of it in this, dude.
Right. Just stop. What I'm saying is, if this is her launch point for something bigger, I'm on board. Like,
Yes.
I didn't. All right.
Jennifer Gardner or this character? This
I didn't.
Jennifer Garner.
Like, I didn't.
Okay, Jennifer Gardner. Yes.
I didn't hate Elektra. Like, it wasn't like it was a shit movie, but I didn't hate. I'm not
Okay.
trying to watch it frequently, but like
if it's
I would,
on, you'll be like, "Mate, do I want to watch
I
this?"
would take Elektra over certainly 2 of the 3 Fantastic Four movies.
Okay, I'll give you that.
All right.
Yeah, but I agree with Josh. Like, she was great, and I want to see her do more movies like this. I want to see her in John Wick 3.
Oh,
That's legit what I want to see. Like, she is so good in this role. And Alias did such a great job of setting her up to do this. And
Just
then she
like
did Daredevil.
John Wick 3, but like as a boss bitch, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, cross them over. Let's make them both happen.
And then she did Daredevil, and then she did Elektra, and then she like disappeared from doing that stuff, and she started
And then
doing
she did
like
Capital One
romantic
commercials.
comedies and dramedies, and she was always like the mom and everything.
13 going on 30 was great.
I'm not saying it wasn't good, but I'm saying she can do this stuff.
Yeah.
Just let her do this stuff. It's good, and she's good at it. And we don't have many of these type of movies anymore. And like, that's why it was so awesome watching Atomic Blonde, because Charlize Theron hasn't been
Atomic Blonde was so good though.
But my point is that Charlize Theron hasn't done a movie like this in forever, and we were hoping like maybe she'll continue to do stuff like that. And I don't know, because that movie only came out 2 years ago.
But like all of a sudden, Colin Firth is an action star. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. Like, like I would love to see her do more movies like this.
Right.
Just not
agreed. 100%.
movies so shoddily put together.
I have a question for you guys too. One of the things
It
that we
was
brought up-
shoddily. It was shoddily put together. I will absolutely give you that. 100%. It was shoddily put together. That is actually, that's a very astute comment, because we hadn't said that previously. That actually just like smacked me right in the fucking truth bomb face. Like just that it was very shoddily put together is probably the best characterization of this movie.
So I want to. Do we have more that we want to say? Really, kind of about. And is there anything else that we didn't touch on?
No, I mean it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay, and it wasn't terrible. I'm not saying throw it in the ocean. It was just
Here's some facts about the movie before we go on for the tail end of it. This movie had a budget of $25 million. The opening weekend, it made $13.4 million. And so far as the time of this recording has grossed $31.2 million. So it's made some money back. I don't know about.
Is that 25 million including marketing and stuff?
It's not. No, that's
the thing. Like
that's the problem.
They after marketing and overseas marketing and distribution and things like that, it's still losing money.
Here's the thing. This is a great popcorn movie. I mean, my final impression about this movie is pretty simple. This is a great popcorn movie. Maybe it's not throw it in the landfill with the Atari ET. That's a little harsh. It's fine. It is movie. I think it has the dumbest title. I think it suffers from like Baby Driver syndrome of like, that's a really dumb title.
Dude, Baby Driver was an awesome title. Shut up.
Baby Driver was a dumb title. It did
You're
not
a dumb title.
explain
You're a dumb title. Brian,
did
tell
not
him he's
explain
a
to the
dumb
mall
title.
walker what Baby Driver was about.
Listen. The difference between this and Baby Driver is that the type Baby Driver,
it's explained.
The movie actually informs that title, right?
Yeah.
This
Peppermint.
doesn't do that.
None of you. Josh, what are your final impressions about this movie before we get to some second opinions?
My final impressions are that your characterization of Baby Driver is stupid.
I love Baby Driver. Baby Driver is like one of my top 5 favorite
But
movies.
saying it suffers from a title problem
It
is
does.
an idiotic statement. It's idiotic, and
You're
I can't.
ridiculous.
It's
Well, talk to me about Peppermint rather than my opinions on Baby Driver.
Well, I thought Peppermint was an average movie. Like, it was entertaining enough for me to see twice. I saw it twice.
Would you have paid for it a second time?
I didn't pay for it once.
That's what I'm saying. Going a second time, if you had to pop down $8, would you do it again?
No, I wouldn't pay to go see it, but it was entertaining. Like it's a good waste of an afternoon if you have that, right? Just you should go do that. But it was fine. It was a movie that kept me interested in the storyline. The action was good. I have no problems with it being a movie.
Brian, what about you? What are your final thoughts on Peppermint?
I mean, very, very much the same. I mean, it was okay. There was nothing that like made me think. Besides her, there was nothing in this movie that said, "Yeah, this is great." It wasn't terrible.
I
either.
liked that chick pissed herself there.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that was nice.
We did
That
not
was
talk about
actually
the
one of my
the-
favorite parts was that chick pissing herself. Was
Yeah,
But that's
that-
the problem. That's the problem though, is that like the only person from the beginning of the flashback who deserves a comeuppance that you actually see is the stupid soccer mom, who for the 30 seconds that you are seeing her, you're like, man, I want to punch this bitch in the face, and then she gets it, and you're like, sweet. Everybody else doesn't get that,
and there was a humorous
it
moment.
was so
within-
frustrating for me.
There was a humorous moment in that too. She's like, "All right, well now I'm leaving, and I'm going to burn your house down, Patricia, with you in it." And as she's walking away, the woman's like, "No." She's like, "I'm only kidding," and then walked out. I was like, "All right, that's all right." You got it.
Yeah, that was some
So,
nice levity.
Brian, as we've already covered the tagline for this movie, which is "The system failed, she won't," which
was like the same tagline for Law Abiding Citizen, by the way.
it's the same.
Just changed
Was
the
it?
key.
And again, that
yeah, it really
that-
was.
The poem, which if you put the poem in there, I would have bought the Peppermint title. Nowhere in the actual movie. But Brian, why don't you hit us with some second opinions that we found online praising this movie?
So I got a couple 10 out of 10 reviews off of IMDb.
Wow.
The IMDb, the users are very kind. Not a lot of 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s. This one says the title is extremely satisfying vigilante movie. Jennifer Garner rocks. If you think you've seen enough of these family wiped out vigilante movies with JCVD or whoever, well, think again. This movie is very exciting and enjoyable with everything fun to watch in this kind of movie. The bad guys from Hitman to bad judges to evil soccer moms get their comeuppance. No, they don't. There's
That's
just
not
enough.
also, it's a mischaracterization. That's not a Jean-Claude Van Damme genre. That's a Steven Seagal genre.
Or Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, there's just enough of a small twist. Jennifer is the super vigilante without being too unrealistic. She's really good at this kind of role, better than in rom-coms and weepies that she has been in recently. It is delightful to anticipate and then witness her mete out punishment and accomplish what the DEA can't. Don't let the slightly frothy title put you off a must-watch.
I don't know about
I don't agree with any of that.
Yeah.
Frothy
rough.
title? All right.
I don't know what that means by
What else you got?
frothy. 10 out of 10. Jennifer Garner is back. Now this is the Jennifer I've been missing since her TV series Alias. Hard hitting, take no prisoners. Literally, you'll get it when you see the movie kind of storyline. I had hoped this movie, despite its fluffy title, would be entertaining. It was. Had me from the first scene. Don't get too down on the title. You'll get it when you see the movie. No, you won't. What I like about Jennifer Garner. Huh? Yeah, okay. What I like about Jennifer Garner is that she is lanky, and some might say skinny, but she can pull off a role like this easily. Her expressions are real and draw you into her character. The casting is good too. So surrounded by a solid cast, Jennifer Garner and company make this a 10 for me. The theater audience clapped at the end, indicating our enjoyment of
What theater
indicating
was
our
this guy
enjoyment
in?
of Blazing Guns movie. I hope to see Jennifer coming back and taking more roles like this and the sweet girl roles too. She's a favorite of mine.
What theater would you have to be in where this movie got an ovation at the end?
It was a
It was just
theater
him and somebody
of-
else, right? There's
of
only two people
who
in the
have
theater.
strictly suffered the exact same issue as the
My
main
daughter
character.
also loved peppermint ice cream. Yes.
This one says
Yes.
brilliant. Brilliant. One of the best engaging movies of revenge justice. When the legal system lets you down, law-abiding citizen, another in the world of fiction. This is simply poetic justice. Those who write bad reviews of unrealism, it's a movie, ! Fiction, ! I was riveted to the film and when the movie starts off like this, it got my attention. This is uneligible. Now it's great to see
unintelligible
female
for sure.
Yeah. Now it's great to see female actors doing such great roles. After all, how many of us would like to do this if the system let us down and you could do it?
What? This person is
This one-
this person
This person's on a
needs-
watch list, right?
Yeah.
This
there's
one is a 10 out of 10.
They're actually declaring their willingness to be a vigilante.
Oh, I can't wait for the day one of my children gets murdered so I can do this movie.
Yeah.
God, it's awful.
This was a 10 out of 10, but the title is Great Popcorn Action Movie, which I will have to say if it's a popcorn action movie, it's not a 10 out of 10.
No.
I love popcorn action movies, but it's not a 10 out of 10. Damn, what a nice action popcorn movie. Revenge Murder the Crow style. It would have been nice to see the backstory of how she became a bona fide assassin.
Yes.
But that is what sequels are for, recommended.
Oh, God.
That is not what sequels are for, in fact.
What
In fact,
prequels are for.
You like popcorn action movies, I think like Smoking Aces and Domino. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, this is not that.
Okay, one more.
All right.
10 out of 10. Go see it and hold on to your popcorn. Jennifer Garner was fantastic. Movie was full of great action. Jennifer is a great actress, and it was great to see her back in something like this. She could have played a better Batman than her husband, Ben. I only hope that Peppermint 2 will be in the works soon because I will be buying a ticket. Never listen to critics. Judge for yourself. You will not be disappointed. I disagree.
You can seriously buy a ticket to this and be disappointed. However, I don't think this was the worst movie that we've seen. Granted, we've only seen 3.
But
this was definitely
it certainly wasn't. I mean, it was, in my opinion, the best of
the 3. I agree. Yes,
thus far.
Yes.
Until we review A Star is Born, yes.
A Star is Born is going to be so amazing, and CJ's going to hate it so much, everyone should vote for it.
I hate it so fucking much. Alrighty. Thank you so much, patrons, for just supporting this show. It means so much to us that you guys would do this. That's why we have to reward you with these wonderful spoiler casts. Yeah, that's why we reward you with these wonderful spoiler casts. Please share the Patreon page with your friends, with your family. Get them on board so that they can listen to this exclusive content. Thank you so much. Yes,
extort money from your friends and family for us, please.
Damn right. Thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work, albeit a short one. And
or your drive to go see Peppermint. Enjoy.
And be sure to vote to see what movie we're going to... Be sure to vote to... Someone help me with this.
Be sure to vote for what movie we are going to see next.
That's right.
Your choices are A Star is Born, Bad Times at the El Royale, Halloween, and Hunter Killer.
And if you're listening,
have at it.
And if you're listening to this in the future, congratulations. Just go listen to the new episode right now. We'll see you next month.
Well, welcome to the club, because you are that kind of nerd.